Hey guys, Casey here, Lions Den Investments and Reviews. Hope you guys are having a good day. Right now in the crypto market, things are looking rather bearish. Okay, don't panic though. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, because what we do on this video or on this channel is cover the technicals on charts. Sometimes I'm not too much of a technical day trader, so I won't focus on that too much. But we do cover that. We also cover a lot of the in-depth looks at some of the projects that I'm invested in, like Theta, Tfuel, XRP, and then we cover the fundamentals as well. As for the fundamentals, though, guys, right now it's getting to be kind of exciting because we've got Janet Yellen, who is orchestrating a meeting right now between the SEC and the CFTC, and they're going to be coming up with some quick regulations on stablecoins. I don't know what that's going to be, so I'm not going to speculate on that. But as soon as I find out more about like what regulations are going to be put in place, I'll let you know. And I have a suspicious feeling that you'll see a lot of that come out over the week, and there's going to be a lot of FUD there. There's going to be a lot that try to shake you out, and I think that honestly, just my own personal opinion here, that's what's happening is they're trying to shake us out, and that's why you're seeing Bitcoin at $29,700. I could be wrong though, and if I am, I'm just gonna double and triple down. That's why we're lions over here at Lions Den. Okay, we don't roll with the regular crowd of people who I like to refer to as sheep who just sell on a whim because of negative news coming out based on whatever Janet Yellen or Yellowstain say. So I mean, over here we got steady hands and we're investors. Okay, it's kind of like what Big C says over on his channel. You want to be an investor. You want to look at some of these projects that are being used as tools and actually represent real world use case with their technology and the blockchains and the ledgers that they're using, and whether or not those are going to actually solve problems and improve on existing systems that are having some serious problems. So if you haven't checked out my boy Big C, go check him out. I'll leave a link for his channel here because he's got a real good take on the psychological aspects of being an investor and controlling your emotions and knowing how to hunker down when things get tough like this and you start seeing the prices crash. But with that said, guys, let's go into Theta and Tfuel because I'm not going to cover the charts here. I really don't care. What I want to cover today on Theta and Tfuel are some of the things that Mitch Liu was talking about in his live AMA event. Okay, and Jay Long, the CTO, was talking about how they were going to make Theta cross-chain compatible with Ethereum through their RPC API Ethereum adapter. Now, if you don't know what any of this means, I can cover it and break it down here at a very high level for you because I actually develop on the Ethereum blockchain. I've been doing some UX UI, which is the front end back end development on the Ethereum blockchain. I've been doing so for about 6 months, okay, or 7 months. So I'm not an expert by any means, but I've got enough knowledge on this stuff to understand, and I've actually been playing with it and practicing with it. I understand what they're doing. So I can break it down for you at a very high level here without really going in depth and getting all nerdy on you and confusing the crap out of you, all right? So you might be asking, okay, Theta's RPC API for the Ethereum adapter, right? What is RPC? RPC is the remote procedure call. It's a set of protocols and interfaces that the client interacts with blockchain systems, okay? The user can query the blockchain related information such as block numbers, blocks, node connections, and then send the transaction request through the RPC interface, okay? So it's just a protocol. It's not even what I consider an application, although there are applications that use RPC. API, if you're wondering what that is the application programming interface. It's a set of functions and procedures allowing the creation of applications that access the features or data of an operating system, application, or other service. All right. So it's just a set of functions and procedures. Nothing too fancy there, but I wanted to introduce you to those two concepts and definitions because we go over here to the Theta Network Twitter page. They're talking about continuing the release of new dev tools for the Theta blockchain. And the Theta implementation of the Rosetta RPC API standard is now public on the Theta GitHub. Now, what the hell is Rosetta, right? Well, if we go over here, Rosetta is a platform that is used and it's open source for all developers working on several different blockchains across the industry. Okay, so if they're, I'll give you an example. Ethereum has got the Solidity programming language. All right, you have others though, like we'll just take XRP. XRP uses a completely different programming language than Ethereum. Some of them will use Python. Some of them will use, Go language, stuff like that, C++. But any of these developers that are using these different programming languages can go over here to this platform called Rosetta. And what Rosetta does, instead of writing custom parsing for every supported blockchain, applications can use a blockchain project's Rosetta implementation to read on-chain data and construct transactions in a standard format, minimizing code and simplifying maintenance. So in other words, all this platform does is it allows developers to be able to write easier code, smart contracts, for instance, and make those cross-chain compatible so that somebody that's, say, developing on the Ethereum blockchain can now go over with some of that same Solidity programming language and implement it into the Theta blockchain. And this is what they're using to basically integrate into that Ethereum adapter that Theta is talking about with J.E. Long there. So pretty interesting stuff. If you ever hear anybody talk about Theta's Rosetta ETH adapter, that's what they're referring to here, is this Rosetta platform and how they're trying to integrate that into their own basically feature on the Theta blockchain so that it's cross-chain compatible. I love it too because, guys, if you're an Ethereum developer and you're building on Ethereum, and let's say you got a dev environment set up on Ethereum, and you don't want to change a whole lot of that, you really don't have to. You might have to go with a different set of libraries, for instance. So I'll get into that here in a minute because the other thing I want to cover is the SDK library from JavaScript, which is similar to the Web3 APIs. And that is right over here. Okay, so I'll leave links in the description below for all of this so you can go back and read into it if you really want to. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're invested in Theta or Tfuel, because now you know what you're invested in. So in addition to the raw RPC API that we were just talking about there, Theta has also provided a JavaScript SDK to make it easier for DAPPS to interface with the Theta blockchain. The functionality is similar to the Ethereum's Web3.js and is aiming to provide a developer-friendly framework for DAPPS to interact with the Theta blockchain. Okay, through the SDK, a DApp can easily query for blocks and transactions, sign and issue transactions to the blockchain, as well as deploy and interact with smart contracts. The SDK can also be used as an automated unit test framework for the developers to thoroughly test and validate the functionalities of their smart contracts before production environment or before production deployment. So, as a developer, especially on Ethereum blockchain, what you can do is you write out your smart contracts, right? And then you can turn around and test those smart contracts before you deploy them in production. Because the number one rule to being a developer on blockchains is you got to test. And you want to make sure it works properly, okay? And in order to do that, you have to write a lot of test framework in JavaScript, and that's on the Ethereum blockchain. Well, this SDK JavaScript acts as basically a library where you can basically take the automated unit test framework and apply a lot of it that's already been proven from other developers. So it's going to make your job a lot easier when it comes to trying to figure out what kind of scripts to use for JavaScript, um, that interact with your smart contracts so that you can test all that out and make sure it works. Because basically, you don't only need to be a programming expert in Solidity, but you need to know JavaScript as well in order to make all this work. So SDK improves upon that, makes it easier for developers who are maybe might be struggling with that, right? Um, Great feature because a lot of these Ethereum developers who've got something set up already, they're now going to be able to take some of their ideas and deploy them on a open source blockchain like Theta, and who knows where that goes, but the sky's the limit. Um, so that's SDK. The other thing I wanted to cover here real quick was the VDF, which is the denial of service patent that they got. So basically, it's preventing denial of service attacks in decentralized edge networks using verifiable delay functions, or VDFs. And to kind of wrap it all up for you here on VDFs, guys, there's hackers out there that have got hardware, and what they can do is use this hardware to speed up the processing time for solving computational mathematical puzzles through the algorithm. So, like with proof of work or proof of stake, for instance, people who are mining solve these algorithms and get rewarded cryptos in order to do so. Well, some of these hackers can implement a denial of service attack, okay, or do like a 51% attack on the blockchains by using specialized hardware to do so, and it speeds up the computational um, computing power to solve some of these algorithms. Well, what Theta has done is they found a way to basically not only be defensive on a security side of things, but they can also now become offensive and reach out and actually attack the hackers before it ever becomes a big issue. And that's the problem that a lot of security teams have these days, especially in centralized networks, is that they'll have a hacker come in, commit a denial of service attack, and the security team, which might be like 30 or 40 people, they won't even know until it's too late. So now they're reactive, right? And they may have had a defensive approach the whole time. What these guys are doing now is not only being defensive, but as soon as it's triggered and the network catches that there's a higher computational power that exists on the blockchain and solving algorithms at an extremely high rate opposed to, say, other nodes on the blockchain, it's going to get suspicious of it and become aware of it, and then reach out on an offensive side, okay? And basically what they're doing here is they're going to be able to make it so that it cannot be parallelized, the computations. Um, Basically, they found a way to attack the hacker with additional like computational puzzles without slowing down the blockchain and the whole system. The algorithm. It's not going to slow it down, so everything's going to continue, but it's going to just basically zero in on specific nodes and then give them basically like a test and throw out a more computational complicated puzzle for them to solve, and it slows them down without slowing down the blockchain. And it deals with private and public keys as well. So there's encryption in the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? So Theta, these guys are smart, man. What they're going to be able to do is basically test these people and be like, okay, your node over here is doing more than everybody else. Why is that so? Answer this question. And it'll do it through a private key. And if you don't have that private key that says you're part of that node or part of that network, and you're not part of the network and the proof of work or the proof of stake algorithm, bye bye. It's like trying to get into a dance club with a fake ID. They're gonna look at it and be like, okay, let's go ahead and scan it real quick and see if it's a fake ID. That's just an analogy I'll use to kind of dumb it down for you here, but that's essentially what VDF is. It's an offensive way to keep hackers out. Not to mention, with video relay, uh, because of these computational puzzles, it could get really expensive for these hackers to try to hack the network. I mean, to the point where it'll completely, by the time they're done, they're going to be broke. So it's not even worth it. It's not even worth the attempt to try to get in and try to hack Theta's network. Um, Really good stuff, guys. Really good stuff from an investment standpoint. That's why I'm doubling and tripling down on Theta right now. Even when prices go to like $2, $3, I don't care. I mean, that's just the market trying to value the price of Theta and Tfuel based on what people are doing, and most people right now are selling. That's why I always say, be a lion, don't be a sheep, because you can double down, triple down when the market's got the value wrong. I can guarantee the market has got the value of Theta and Tfuel wrong right now. And so I'm just backing up the truck. I'm going to continue investing into projects like Theta and Tfuel and XRP at the moment. But with that said, that's all I really have for today. If you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And let's keep focused on what happens today and throughout the rest of the week when it comes to the regulations on these stable coins, because I have a feeling you're going to see a lot more FUD come out. And just my own personal opinion here, but I think this is the final shakeout. If it's not, and this thing goes into August, well, then we're going into a bear market. And in that case, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing. Nothing changes. So with that said, you guys have a good day, and KC out.